Hello, today's lesson is about absolute value, mainly about solving equations with absolute value. Let's recall first what is the absolute value of a number. The absolute value of a number represents the distance from 0 to that number, which is always a positive value. Example, if we take the absolute value of -5, we have to find the distance from 0 to -5, which is 5 units. And then we write the absolute value of -5 is equal to 5. However, the absolute value of 7 is also the distance from 0 to 7, which is also 7 units. And then the absolute value of 7 is equal to 7. Now, to find the absolute value of 5 minus 2 pi, we have to think about what is the sign of the quantity 5 minus 2 pi. Pi is 3.14, so 2 pi is larger than 5, and then 5 minus 2 pi is a negative value. And because 5 minus 2 pi is the negative value, then to find the absolute value of 5 minus 2 pi, we have to take the opposite of 5 minus 2 pi because we are looking at the distance from 0 to 5 minus 2 pi. And the distance from 0 to 5 minus 2 pi is a positive value, and then we take the opposite of 5 minus 2 pi, and then it is minus 5 plus 2 pi. Now let's conclude. If we want to find the absolute value of any number a, we have to look at the sign of a. If a is negative, then the absolute value of a will be the opposite of a, which is negative a. Okay, we know that the distance is positive, then because a is negative, and the opposite of a will be for sure a positive value. However, if a is positive, then the absolute value of a is a itself. So when we want to find the absolute value of a negative number, we know that it is the opposite of that number. However, when we have the absolute value of a positive number, it is the number itself. Now let's solve equations with absolute value. Okay, we'll start with the absolute value of x minus 3 is equal to 5. What do you understand by this equation? We want to have the quantity x minus 3 at 5 units from 0. So we have to take the distance from 0 to x minus 3 as 5 units. The distance from 0 to x minus 3 is 5 units if I put the quantity x minus 3 at -5 or the quantity x minus 3 at 5, because the distance from 0 to -5 is 5 units and the distance from 0 to 5 is also 5 units. So the quantity x minus 3 can be placed at two values, at -5 and or at 5. And this is why we have two possibilities. The x minus 3 is equal to 5, or the x minus 3 is equal to -5. And then we have to solve two equations. The first one will lead to x is equal to 8, and the second one will lead to x is equal to -2. And therefore this equation has two solutions, which are 8 and -2. Okay, now let's move to another example. We want to solve the absolute value of 2x minus 1 is equal to -4. Okay, let's think again of the definition. I want the quantity 2x minus 1 to be placed at a distance -4 from 0. However, we said that the distance is always a positive value. So can I have a distance equal to -4? The distance from 0 to 2x minus 1 is -4, and then directly we say that this is impossible and there is no solution for this equation, because the distance is always a positive value. It cannot be negative. The absolute value cannot be negative. In example 3, we want to solve the absolute value of 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. So I want the distance from 0 to 2x minus 1 to be 0 units. And if I want to place the quantity 2x minus 1 at 0 units from 0, then the 2x minus 1 will be at 0. And therefore, I will be solving the equation 2x minus 1 is equal to 0, which means that x is equal to half. Okay, now let's conclude. To solve an equation of the type absolute value of a is equal to k, where k is a constant, we have three possibilities. If k is a negative value, the absolute value of a is equal to a negative value. This is an impossible case because the distance from 0 to a cannot be negative, and then we have no solution and S is equal to empty set. The second case, if k is equal to 0, the absolute value of a is equal to 0 means that the distance from a to 0 is 0 units, and then a is equal to 0. The third case is when k is positive. The absolute value of a is equal to k and k is a positive value. This means that the distance from 0 to a is equal to k units, and therefore a is equal to k or a is equal to negative k, and in this case I have two possibilities. All the best. Thank you.